Welcome back, everyone. Jaybone here for Smash This Podcast. And I'm not alone tonight. No. To my left. Oh, I got it right that time. To
You
my
did.
left is an old podcast buddy of mine, an old friend of mine,
Showing up.
Mr. Dyzzy.
Dyzzy in the hizzy. What's up, brother?
Into his house.
In the hizzy, his house. What's up, man?
Dude, we are way too white for that shit,
bro. I know it, man. I know it. Styles, what's going on, man? See you in the comments already.
Dude, congrats on your big numbers on your gaming, man. I'm so proud of you. I know you've been trying at that for a while.
That's awesome, brother.
This dude loves his classic games.
I do too, man. I am a huge fan. I really wish that I had like an old SNES and an NES and a Sega. I wish I had that stuff, dude. I'd play it probably every day. I would never go anywhere. Just sit in my house and just play it.
Right?
In a beanbag chair, naked, eating Cheetos. Well,
dude, that's hot.
And it's, I know, right?
That's
can you just imagine that? Just picture that. Just real quick. Just picture that.
All right, that's the show for tonight. Thank you. Good night.
Can't wrap it up that quick, man.
Oh, no. That's what she said. All right.
For sure.
Damn, I miss doing this with you. All right.
I know, man.
We're gonna
It's great.
This is fun.
It is fun. It's a lot of fun.
We're gonna talk about a bunch of stuff tonight. I know this was like a last minute thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, hey, let's talk about this, and then let's talk about this, and then all of a sudden, an hour ago, I found that they put the first part of the Benoit 2-part saga, A Dark Side of the Ring, on YouTube, and I'm like, oh shit, dude, I have to watch this like right freaking now.
Yeah, that, you know, and I saw this. I was watching TV the other day, and I saw that they were going to do a documentary series on Chris Benoit, and I was like, dude, I have to see that. And thank you for sending me the link to watch it, because I was surprised Vice put it up on their YouTube page quick.
I was surprised too, but I think they kind of look at, there's a lot of people putting content up online earlier than it would normally be. Like either like, okay, for example, like a lot of movies that are supposed to be coming out within the next couple months or next week or whatever, they're getting put on video on demand so that they can start making money on them right now. People can order them, people can rent them, people can buy them or whatever.
Right.
Because otherwise, theaters, everything's getting shut down nationwide. It's not like, oh, this part of the country's kind of bad. No, it's the whole freaking country now.
Mm-hmm. I know that that network TV, you're going to start seeing free stuff pop up. So I think if you have just regular old Hulu, you can watch Fox News, I think, live for free. Maybe CNN, MSNBC. Yeah. So they, you know, they're really getting behind all of this, and they're thinking, okay, they're realizing, okay, this is a pretty serious situation. People are going to be held up in their houses for quite some time, and they're thinking, wow, we got to provide some entertainment, and what better way than to do it, you know, now and gain some more viewership.
Yeah, content is king right now. I mean,
it is.
Fans are doing this on their social medias. They're providing little concerts. Wrestling company, like the bigger end of little ones. They're providing highlights from past shows, whole wrestling shows from a couple years ago. Dude, what are you sipping on? I'm curious.
I'm drinking Bud Light.
Oh, dude.
Bud Light. I know. I've been going back and forth between Bud Light and Busch Light. Recently, I've been on a really big Busch Light kick, and I don't know why, but I went to the store the other day, and I'm thinking, okay, it's time I got to stock up on some beer. And what's up, Hakeem? I got to stock up on some beer. They didn't have Busch Light in bottles because I prefer it in bottles than cans. But they had Bud Light. So I'm like, okay, well, I like Bud Light too. So we'll just have a little bit of a mixture. That's okay.
There you go.
Yeah,
dude, I used to drink a lot of Busch Light because it was probably one of the cheapest beers around back when I was in my early 20s, and we're talking like mid 90s. Yeah. So I graduated in 92, so yeah, that goes back a little bit. Jiminy Christmas. So yeah, we're gonna talk about a few things tonight. We're gonna talk about an old podcast of ours coming back. We're gonna talk about the future of wrestling. It's kind of, oh God,
kind of in a dark stage right now with everything, really.
Oh God, yeah, everything's changing by hour. The numbers are just going nuts, man. It's kind of scary.
It is. It's really scary.
And we're of course going to, like it says on the thumbnail, we are going to review the first part of the Chris Benoit episode of Dark Side of the Ring. But before we get into that, I never do this, dude. I never do this. I did a little shopping online because I'm hip like that.
You're hip to be a square, right?
I'm hip to beats. Oh, there it goes. Copyright shit.
You did it, not me. Not me.
Jaybone singing again. Better rapping and passing gas. Anyways, so I go through Verizon for my cellular bills, and every time you pay a bill, if you got Verizon, you get these little bonuses. You can pick this, that, the other thing. These little gift cards, whatever. Well, I got a $5 Amazon card, and I was like, "Can I get for $5 on Amazon?" And I've been thinking about, I'm always looking at wrestling merch. I never get anything, but I'm always looking at it like, oh, that's a freaking awesome looking t-shirt. Oh, but it's $30. Screw that, And I was looking the other day at Funko Pops, and I was like, whoa, this one's $5. And then I got the email about the bonus. And because I paid my bill a few weeks ago. They're like, hey, by the way, you got this bonus. I was like, shit, I'm going to use it. I never order anything online.
Right.
So this Funko Pop was like $5.50 and some pennies or whatever. Used my $5 card. So I got a Funko Pop for like 50 cents.
That's cool. What'd you get?
Batista.
Nice. That's cool. He kind of looks like Triple H. In a way, without the beard.
A little. I mean, because he's like,
yeah. But that's cool, man. Batista,
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer, indeed. Yeah.
Yep. So there we go. And I don't have a lot of these. I've got just a handful of these.
I bought my wife for Christmas a Funko, a pop thing.
I did too.
Did you really? My wife is a huge fan of Chili Willy the Penguin. So I went online and I found her, from the Woody Woodpecker.
Okay, yeah. No,
yeah.
It's funny because I got my wife something from the movie Frozen, so they're kind of
nice. So they kind of coincide, yeah.
Same,
well,
but different.
This guy comes with like a stack of pancakes. I don't know. Yeah, I know. I'm like, I've never seen Chili Willy the Penguin eat pancakes on. Well, maybe I have. That was like one of the really earlier cartoons.
Oh, that and Tom and Jerry and Bugs Bunny.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Damn, I'm old.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I got all the Looney Tunes sitting in my DVD collection right now. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know.
All right, let's say hi to a couple other people here before we start discussing our topics for the night. We said hello to Hakeem, Elijah,
Elijah. Yeah.
What's up, Jaybone? Just finished watching SmackDown. Oh my God, you gotta watch Otis. You're gonna say, wow, he's turning into 1999 Kane with X-Pac and Tori with Ziggler and Mandy. Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
Probably the most entertaining thing that they have across both main brands right now, I'd say.
True.
I love Otis. He's a Wisconsin guy, so I don't watch the product a lot, but Otis and Tucker. They're
never heard of them.
Heavy machinery. They're one of the newer tag teams on the main roster.
Okay, because I'll be honest, I haven't watched WWE product in a really, really long time, so I'm not caught up on it.
Oh, I hear you. You. You should know Tucker because he's been in NXT for quite a few years. Otis is still fairly new.
Maybe.
Well, because he's been he was in a bunch of different. I'm trying to think.
Let me Google this guy. Google this guy. Get on the old Google.
There you go. Zach
Otis Dozovic. That's his name. I'm just saying Dozovic. I mean,
I have no clue. I always screw up his last name. Hakeem says he's working on a new article. That's awesome.
Sweet. Yeah, Chet is here. Thanks. Appreciate it.
He must have been watching.
Oh my God. Hello, Zach.
It's all love, man.
It is, I guess.
I hope. I have a great audience. When all my regulars are in here, it's great. It really is. No, sure. Zach's cool. All good, man.
That's cool, man. What's up, Zach?
Otis is turning heel at Mania. I'm going to tell you right now. See, I actually think Tucky's going to turn on Otis. I think that's what I think.
Oh, I'm not allowed to touch my face. I'm not allowed.
Quit touching your face.
Right. Oh, don't do that. God, what are you doing?
It hurts.
We're in a what is it? A stay at home kind of a lock. It's not a lockdown. It's a stay at home order is what it is. Illinois just announced they released that today. We're only allowed to go to the grocery store. We can go to, I think, doctor's offices, maybe. I don't know. The essentials. We can do essential stuff. We can go outside. We can take a walk. We can enjoy the fresh air, just not be around a bunch of people. So
no congregating.
Right. And I'm fine with that for a while anyway.
So we're social anti-distancing, but we're right next to each other.
Kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna lean on you. Put my head on your shoulder.
Lean on me
when you're not strong.
Now, if you shaved your head,
Dyzzy gives me the voice actor vibes. Well, that's funny you say that. It is funny you say that.
Dyzzy has the golden voice of radio.
I am looking for my next gig on radio. So, yeah. But nobody can take Jaybone's charisma. No, nobody, dude. This guy over here. I got to figure out which way. My camera is backwards. Like you can see my shirt type of thing. Yeah. I got to look down because I can't look at the camera. It's screwing with me. Anyway. And he's, his charisma is really one of the reasons why I added this guy to Rambling About Wrestling when we were going back, when we were on YouTube, and super proud of
goes back a few years.
It does, yeah, and super proud of this guy. He was on YouTube and he was doing reviews from his. I believe it was in your living room is when I found you. Doing reviews.
Shit. Lost my earbuds. Up in West Bend.
Yeah. So I found this guy reviewing wrestling on YouTube and
ringsidenews.com.
Yeah. And that's how we met is ringsidenews.com. And I sent him a private message and I'm like, look, bro, I got this podcast. Come join us for just, a show or 4 or 10. And it turned out to be a hell of a lot more. And he wound up being a regular and
the fifth member.
Yeah, until Bubba was gone, and now you're the fourth.
Well, yeah,
third, but
it's like the
whatever number,
only different.
Right. That's funny you say that, Hakeem, because I say that all the time. I have the face for radio. I really do.
A lot of people say that about, it's like, oh, you got a great voice, and then you meet them, and it's like,
boy,
hey, you got a great voice.
Yeah. My God, you should be on the radio. Why is that? Well, you're butt ugly for one.
I love Dyzzy. We shared pizza together in a hotel room.
We did. Yeah, I was in Wisconsin, not to be weird. I was in Wisconsin for work. I was training for a new job, and I went to Wisconsin. Was it Racine?
Yeah, it was like between Racine and Kenosha. It was on the
Kenosha.
lake.
It was in Kenosha. That's what it was. It was in Kenosha because I remember the hotel. It was badass. It was like right next to Lake Michigan. And
the lakefront was nice. A block away was horrible.
Yeah, that was well, And I messaged him and I said, "Hey, bro, I'm going to be in Wisconsin. Let's meet up. Let's grab some pizza. Let's hang out." And then we did I think we did a show, like a short show, in the hotel room.
It was something about Hogan. I forget what.
Yeah, Hogan was doing something. Was going on with the Hulkster, and we. I was trying to keep up because I was going to be away back and forth between my home in Illinois and in Wisconsin.
You were traveling a lot.
I was traveling a whole hell of a lot, too much. And I decided to get with the Jaybone here, and we did a short show. So
there we go.
That's it.
And the rest is history, as they say.
Sure.
So now, a few years later, why don't you tell these fine folks who I consider a great audience,
yes,
Arlo, what is up? Why don't you let these folks in on what we're planning?
We are, I've been trying to get these guys together. I've been trying to get Jaybone, Max Magus, and the Baron all together for a little Rambler reunion. We did that show yesterday, and it got me to thinking that, you know what? I kind of miss podcasting.
You missed my sweet ass.
Yeah, that's true. I missed podcasting. I missed doing little shows and getting to interact, because being in a studio and FM radio, you got a microphone and you're talking to one person. You really don't know what they're thinking. Then you get to YouTube and you have the chat going. You've got your video going. You've got all this other stuff going. And you kind of get the whole concept of, oh, wow, this is cool. I can see what people are actually thinking. I can comment, and I can do it live. So we are going to start up yet a new podcast. We were formerly known as Rambling About Wrestling. We did that for 3 years, and we're going to be doing a new show with Mr. Jaybone there, Max Magus, and the marvelous Max Magus, and the marvelous Baron, because that's my boy.
The Baron.
We're calling it the Ramblers Unleashed is what we are calling it. And it's going to debut soon. I think we're going to try to put it on Smash This Podcast channel. You can also watch us on YouTube. I think our first YouTube video is going to be on youtube.com/rambling about wrestling. And that's without the G's. You can follow us you can like the Facebook page right now. It's up. You can like that. Just go to Facebook and type in Ramblers Unleashed. That's all you need to type in. Boom, it'll be right there. And enjoy the show, man. And I think we're going to try to get another YouTube channel going, and we're going to point everybody in that direction. Like, hey, go like that channel. So it's
a work in progress. It's like, okay, this is not like, okay, here's the schedule, here's the first show, here's this right. and this and t-shirts and whatever. And no, it's a work in progress. We're just talking about, all right, let's do this.
Agent,
we're gonna do it.
What's up, brother? Agent.
There's a
Agent's
good
been a
old
long time. Yeah, been a long time subscriber to our channel, to our old channel, to Jaybone's channel. So good to see you, man. Good to see you, brother. But yeah, look for Ramblers Unleashed starting soon. Like I said, we're going to debut it on Smash This Podcast channel. We're also going to debut it on the Rambling About Wrestling channel. We're also going to try to live stream to Facebook. So make sure you like our Facebook page if you're away from YouTube or whatever the case may be. Make sure you like the Facebook page and get the notifications, and we will be going live, and you'll see my happy face. You'll see his happy face right there, right somewhere. Max, you'll get to see Baron. So it's a work in progress, and I'm going to get these guys together again. We're going to talk some, not only really wrestling, but we're going to talk about just anything, man. We're cooped up in a house because of the stupid coronavirus. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what you want to talk about. We're going to talk about whatever the hell we want.
Because we're still Ramblers.
Because we are still Ramblers. That is what we do. That's what we do the best. Yeah. So we're going to just keep doing what we're doing, but we just have a different name, different logo, and all that. And soon we're going to have a different.
It's the reboot.
It is the reboot. Yes, it is very much so. But I'm excited about it, man. I'm really excited about it. We don't know a specific time yet when we'll be on or what. I don't know. We're just going to kind of wing it and see what happens. It's kind of what we did with Rambling too.
Yeah. And, just keep an eye on the socials, and I'll, when we start doing stuff, I'll start sharing socials and whatever,
Definitely. Yeah. And again,
on the Facebook and the Twitter box and all that.
Yeah. And again, make sure you'll go after you wash your damn hands. Yes. 20 seconds. Wash your damn hands. Then go on the Facebooks. Look for Ramblers Unleashed. It's going to take a while for me to get that name because I'm used to calling it Rambling About Wrestling. But we're gonna talk about some just stuff, just general stuff.
Yeah, life, whatever's affecting us. We'll try not to make it too, because I know there's a few people in our group that like to talk about politics. I loathe politics, and it's not because of this group or that group. No, I just loathe politics. Sure. So I can tell you right now,
we won't be talking about politics.
No, like anything, but hey, let's talk about the new giraffe at the zoo.
There you go. Yeah. I like it. The giraffe at the zoo. Yeah. Did you do? Hey, they brought in a new lion. He's a different kind of lion.
Did you see how long that giraffe's tongue is? Oh my God.
OMG. It was nuts.
The things that thing could do.
Yeah. Anyway, moving along.
It's like 15 feet tall, and they could peel a grape in 3 seconds. All right.
You're scaring me, bro. Scaring me. It's okay.
I don't get out much anymore. I'm sorry.
This guy's a professional. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. And I've had too many beer, I think. Man.
No lollipops tonight, kiddies. Daddy's all out.
Right. None for me, thanks. I'm driving.
No, the joke is that when I'm doing the podcast with Trent, we're talking about Impact Wrestling and Joey Ryan because he always has the lollipop.
Oh, you got a lollipop. Yeah. Not anymore. Didn't he change his gimmick?
He did. He's canceling the culture.
Yeah, cancel culture.
Something
stupid. But I mean, not his gimmick, but the whole thing about it. The cancel culture is just stupid. It really is.
I give him credit for trying to reinvent himself.
No, I do too. And I'm not, and like I said, man, I'm not talking about his character change. I'm just talking about the actual cancel culture. I think it's just dumb.
Oh, I hear you.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, but no, props to Joey Ryan for continuing to do what he does. To do what he loves, really.
Yes. And that's wrestling. So let's get into some wrestling talk.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about the future of wrestling a little bit. Now, this is not this is purely a how do I say this? Like, I don't know any of this for a fact. This is just my gut feeling, okay? Because I see the way things are progressing over the last 24 to 48 hours and even back a couple days before that. And every day it's progressively getting scarier and more intense, and things are getting shut down, and they're doing this and they're doing that, and this governor's saying this and this governor's shutting down this. And wrestling, the companies that are still putting on live shows in front of our eyes, at least, are WWE and AEW. Everything else is shut down. Well, Ring of Honor said they were going to try to do something, but now within the last 24 hours, you've got states like, Illinois is one of them, right?
Yeah.
Illinois is one of them.
We're not shut down. We are in a basically stay at your house kind of a thing. You know,
it's not martial law.
No, we're not under martial
law.
No. We can still go to the store. We can still go and take a walk. We can still go outside. We can still breathe air. We can still do this. We just can't be in front of, like, in a group of 10 people. More than 10 people. Well, we can breathe air, but
breathing.
Yeah. Well, our governor,
kind of important.
So if you live in Illinois, you know what I'm talking about. But
I'm not breathing anymore. Fuck that.
Right. No, I don't want to feel the tax burden. Anyway, no, we can still do, we can still live our life. We just can't go to the bar. We can't go eat out anywhere. We can't go dine in anywhere. We have to think progressively about, hey, how are we going to eat? And there's plenty of food. There's around the world, around globally, man. There's around the United States, there is plenty of food. Don't worry about it. Do your shopping at a normal basis and then go home and live your life. Yes, you're going to be quarantined. Yes, you're going to be in the house. Things are going to be shut down. You can't go to the roller rink. You can't go bowling. You can't go play pool. You can't go drink with your friends. The only time you can drink with your friends is at your house, or maybe you get on a Skype call and drink with your friends.
Yeah, you're not even supposed to have your friends over.
Exactly.
That's the thing. You really shouldn't, because you don't know where your friends have been.
Right. Yeah. Right. Like, where the hell have you been, man?
And who have you been touching? And what have you been breathing? And
you don't want to know.
And what have you looked at any toilets in the last one? I saw your Instagram. Have you looked at any toilets?
I saw your Facebook Live on Saturday, dude. I know what you do on the weekends. Okay,
dude, you were plowed and you were licking toilets, you son of a bitch.
You're on a Southwest airline. You're on a plane. You're licking that toilet like it was a lollipop. Thinking you were Joey Ryan or something. Sick pervert. Coronavirus having guy.
Lil Wayne wannabe.
Right.
Lollipop. Stop that, people, please.
By the way,
quit that shit.
Go like our Facebook page. You can find it at Ramblers Unleashed. I have to look at the graphic on my computer because it's really going to take some time for me to get used to calling it Ramblers Unleashed instead of rambling about wrestling. But that's what happens with product changes, dude.
Yeah, people are like, "Oh, this is back. Oh, it's
new.
It's new and improved."
Yeah, you're gonna see a 2.0 Dyzzy. Dyzzy 2.0. Jaybone 4.5. Max Mages 100. Just straight 100.
I've gone through a few versions.
Baron 420.
Yeah, he hasn't changed.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good times, man. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a blast. Hope you can join us, everyone. So that's what it is. But going back to state of wrestling and the state of anything, really,
I've got a bad feeling.
I don't know how long they can keep this up. WrestleMania is right around the corner. They've already made tons of different changes, and what I've seen on different news outlets, they're already talking about they talked about doing it with no crowd. They talked about having a crowd, then a very small crowd. I've seen
they're going to split it to 2 days.
They're going to split it 2 days. And they changed the venue already. They're going to hold it at the Performance Center. But I mean, if Florida gets shut down, I don't know how they're going to even have it. I don't think they are.
It's one thing if it's you can say, well, it's their building, they can do what they want. Yeah, but if the state is telling them they can't do it, then I don't see how they could do it. Now, I know a lot of people like to throw the political side into it, and I'm just going to mention it. I'm not going to agree or disagree with it. Be like, yeah, well, he's good friends with that one guy that runs the country, and he can say anything he wants and let him do whatever he wants. It's like, no, not really.
Right.
If the local authorities say, shut it down, send your folks home,
right,
you got to comply, and you got to be smart about this too. I said this the other night. I said, look, I even texted, this is funny. So, Cody Rhodes, side note, Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks sent out their phone numbers. So ask me what I was doing at 1 o'clock in the morning, Dyzzy.
Were you texting Cody Rhodes? Was he replying to you? Did he reply? Did he say hello, Jaybone?
Dick pics. I'm kidding.
Bro, where's a sounder that we need? We need Bubba's off tonight. We need a sounder.
Brandy's gonna be so jealous.
Right.
It's gonna be me, Cody, and Pharaoh forever. No. So I said, so I was like, you know what? Because when I first heard about it, I was like, Yeah. And then I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to. Because I don't want to be like, months down the road. Shit, I wish I texted him.
Right.
So I did. And then there's like a thing that pops up and says, okay, now add your information so you're in his contacts. And I was like, good night. Are you serious? What?
Done.
Okay. I'm in.
You're gonna call me. I'm going to be BFFs with Cody Rhodes. Cool.
I'm in with the EVP, bitch. So I sent him a text. I'm like, whatever. I'm going to say, hey, it's Jason from just outside the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area. I want to say thank you. Much love. And you are all very brave for keeping wrestling going in these times. Gave him a 2 sweet and 3 applause emojis. And that was it. And then you get like an automated thing back. And then and then we were going back and forth, and I don't know how much of it was automated or whatever. And then he sent out a group thing this morning showing us a picture of his dog. So I was like, okay, that was nice. So
that was cool. Yeah.
I've got his digits.
Right.
But
we BFFs, yo.
We
Cody went over. I knew that.
He told me all about it last night.
he told me everything.
Earth. Late last night.
Earth thing. We were up till 3 a.m. just chatting. I had tea. He had tea. It was the thing.
We're spilling tea.
We were just talking about by the fireplace. Well, I was by my fireplace. I don't know if he was, but we were by our fireplaces sipping tea. And then we had a bottle of Chardonnay and we shared thoughts.
Okay, it's getting weird now.
Right. Yeah. Anyway. Well, that's cool. I mean, he's reaching out to his fans.
But I told him he was, brave for doing this. And both companies, I applaud both companies for trying to keep the product on there. And there's so many restrictions going up.
Right.
And dude, I don't see like after like middle of next week, I don't see anything continuing. I just don't. If it does, somebody's got to know somebody, and whatever. It is what it is. They're brave. People are applauding it.
Yeah.
People are poo-pooing it.
It really comes down to being, is it essential? Because essential people, essential workers and personnel and things like that, businesses, is this essential? And I think, yes, it is. I think to keep our sanity about us, I really think that this is essential for everybody to, because you get to see new episodes of not The Office, Superstore. You get to see new episodes of Reno 9. Jesus Christ, I'm talking about canceled shows here. You get to see new episodes of your favorite shows. Basically, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You get to see new episodes of that every week. Maybe they need to just start pre-recording these episodes instead of putting them live, kind of like what New Japan did,
He's essential.
He is essential. Very much so. But maybe they need to start pre-recording these and then sending them to the networks to say, hey, here's the newest one, and do it like that. I don't know. But then again, that would be, that would be the good point of what Baron brought up last night. Should the wrestling industry have an off season? And I think they should,
Yeah. Well, we're this close to getting that off season.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's intentionally, unintentionally. Okay, so I found the article I was looking for earlier. I couldn't find it. This is from ringsidenews.com. This came up yesterday. What's up, Steve?
Steve Carrier, what's going on, brother?
Says the company will be taping the remaining episodes of Friday Night SmackDown and Raw leading into WrestleMania. One source we spoke with indicated that they are expecting both Mania shows to be taped over the next week as well. Yeah, they I believe it wholeheartedly now with everything going on like this. And they might be doing an absolute rush on that. Be like, let's get these taped before the entire state kicks us out of this building. Because, I mean, I understand what you mean when you're like, you think it's essential because it's like the last sport on TV. But it's wrestling.
It is,
and I love it. I love it. You look at this room, I'm surrounded by what I love between that and music. And so it's essential for me, but I also don't want to see these guys get sick. You hear about basketball players catching it, football players catching it. Everything is canceled. Everything is canceled, except for marble racing, for God's sakes.
Yeah. Does that.
I am going to the store and I am going to get me some marbles, let me tell you.
Well, and let's talk about this too. Earlier today, ringsidenews.com released a story that Braun Strowman said indie wrestlers should find a new profession because of this.
Dude, Braun needs to do the whole Chris Jericho thing right now.
Yeah.
He needs to wash his hands. He needs to cough into his arm, and he needs to shut his ass. That's what he needs to do. He just needs to shut the hell up, because everything that's coming out of his mouth now, it's horrible. It's like okay, you're working for a multi-billion-dollar company, and you're telling the little man, oh, maybe you should go deliver pizzas, dude. Fuck that guy. Seriously.
Well, you kind of have to think about it too.
I know, but coming from him is like, okay, if you and I are professional wrestlers, okay, just saying, if you and I are professional wrestlers, yeah, I know. If you and I are professional wrestlers and we're indies and we're lower card indies or whatever, And we start looking at everything getting canceled around us and everything's getting shutting down. And then it say you and I are having a conversation about our future in the wrestling industry, locally, statewide, countrywide, whatever. That's a conversation between you and me. I don't want some dude in some multi-billion-dollar company talking down to be like, yeah, well, maybe you should do this. Dude, that's not his place. He needs to shut his ass. He's embarrassing himself.
Yeah.
That did not look good.
But you also have to think about it, too, that these indie wrestlers that are out, we used to cover a promotion in Alton, Illinois, and we've been to that promotion. I'm still friends with a lot of the guys out of that promotion, but a lot of those guys were wrestling to have a wrestling career, and they were working towards their wrestling career. Now that this whole new coronavirus and it's out there and it's here, what are these guys going to do? Because a lot of these guys don't have a lot of 9-to-5s. They hop from indie promotion to indie promotion to indie promotion, and they wrestle for money. What are these guys going to do when you can't go wrestle anymore? You're going to have to find a 9-to-5. You have to. And that's sad because, you take somebody like myself. If I didn't get to do what I love to do every single day of my life, I would just be heartbroken that I have to go out and find a new profession until this whole thing blows over, and I would hopefully not forget how to do the thing that I love to do. But it's scary because you don't know if you're ever going to get behind the curtain, behind the ring again, or in the ring behind the squared circle anymore. You don't know. And I think that's what's freaking a lot of people out. And I get what you're saying with Braun Strowman. I get what you're saying. The guy makes millions of dollars wrestling, but that's what he did, man. He got to where he is by going to indie promotions. Should he have said that? No. Is it a reality? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It sucks. It really fucking sucks. But it's a fact. It's affecting everybody, including indie workers, including me. God, I just got laid off. It's infecting everybody. It sucks, but it is what it is. But again, I'm hoping that WWE and AEW can at least record some content to send it to the networks. And do something, keep us entertained, because God, we're sitting in our houses going freaking mad because we can't go anywhere. We can't do anything. Everything's shut down. We can't go to the bar and watch anything. We can't go to the bar and drink a beer.
No hot wings.
Or eat hot wings, right?
Well, I suppose if the place is still you could if their kitchens are still open, if they're telling the public that their kitchens are open and you can order hot food to go on special days or whatever, then yes, support your local business.
Sure,
delivery, whatever.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, God, there's a bar right up the road from me that I would definitely every single day would go and support them. I know a lot of people in the community are going to that bar to support them, to help them out, because they're losing money because they're not having any dine-ins. They're a bar. They're not getting any alcohol sales anymore. A lot of the distributors are going to stop delivering beer because they're not essential employees.
Yeah.
And that sucks because beer is freaking essential
for a lot of people in these trying times. Yeah.
Look, and I'm empty right now. I'm empty and it's pissing me off, man. See, I'm already getting emotional.
Do you have to go get another one?
No, I'm okay.
You sure?
I'm sure.
You gonna make it?
I'm gonna make it.
You sweating?
I'm sweating. But I'll be
all right. So I just wanted to bring that up momentarily. I didn't want to spend too much time on it, but I mean, the future of wrestling is scary. I got a bad feeling about next week. I hope it doesn't happen, but like I said, at the same time, if it does happen, I get it. I'm not gonna lose my mind over it, because I want these people to stay safe, because I want them when all this bullshit is over, I want to be able to watch them all,
Mm-hmm. And if you don't, if it does get shut down, at least you'll have us. You'll have us.
Yeah.
We're not going anywhere. We're going to be right here on YouTube. We're going to be talking to you. We're going to be connecting with you. You can follow us on Facebook and all of the socials. We're here for you. We want to entertain you. That's why we're doing this. That's why I came back. I'm like, oh, I want to entertain. I want to talk. I want to ramble. I want to just talk to somebody. I got my wife in the next room and she talks to me every day, but it's like she gets sick of it sometimes. But
how could she get sick of the man with the golden voice?
How could she get sick of me? I have the voice of an angel. I have the voice. It's like Julio Iglesias.
It's like that 90s song. Have you talked to an angel? Or how do you talk to an angel?
How do you talk to an angel?
There
Something
you go.
Like that. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. We'll go with that.
I don't even remember what show it's from. But I remember the song.
I don't remember either.
Something about catching a falling star. All right.
I don't know.
So yeah, we next week is going to be a very
it's going to be a trying time. It's going to be questionable. A lot of questions in the air right now.
Yeah. Just huge question marks.
Yeah.
But no matter what happens with wrestling, what we're going to talk about next is still going to carry us through the next several weeks on TV, and it has to do with wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Dead Punk Cage, The Heights. Well, you must be close to my age or younger or close to my age if you remember that series. That's funny. Oh, damn it. I did it again.
Son of a gun. What are you doing over there breaking
I need
stuff?
A new setup, man. I need a
Man.
new thing. All right.
Hey, if you want to throw some bucks over my way, because I need a new microphone. I need a new everything around here.
Hey, Dyzzy hooked me up with this one like 4 years ago. Still using the same one.
Got to hook up.
It's beautiful. Same camera, too. Have not changed the damn thing.
No, my camera hasn't changed either. I think it's fine.
If it's same age, I believe, 40, I'm creeping up on 46. It's hard to believe.
Bruh. Still gorgeous, though.
Yes.
Still gorgeous. I'm creeping up on 36 myself.
10 off.
10 off, man.
You young buck, you.
Such a young buck. Should be part of the tag team, make it a tri-team.
Yeah, you could sneak in there and it'd be like, whoa, it's like a twin or something.
Yeah, it's like, I belong here. Can I take a bump? Fuck no. Can I cut a promo? Hell yeah.
I want to see you try a super kick.
Gotta hype my britches up, man. Like, hold on a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Don't come at me so damn fast, man. Hold on.
Dyzzy just pissed himself in the ring a little.
Wait a minute, man. That actually hurt. Thought this shit didn't hurt.
I thought it was a fake.
Oh, yeah. You say that in front of 20 wrestlers. Be like, oh, you want to see fake? Yeah.
Right.
Did I say fake? I said rake.
I meant who wants a steak? All right.
Do you want to go fishing in a lake?
Oh, God. And it's all downhill from here. All right.
Do you want to be my mate? And also in Australia, you want to be my mate? Crikey, mate. You know, all that and all that in a bag of things, Anyway.
A bag of things.
Bro, I've had about 5 beers and I'm feeling pretty good.
I don't need beer anymore. I'm just ridiculous.
You're just living life, man. You're drunk on life. Drunk on life.
This is priceless right here.
Yeah. For sure.
I'm looking at it on this screen. I'm waiting for it to pop up on this screen.
Uh-oh. Oh, boy.
It's good. We're waiting. We're waiting. Sometimes it takes a few extra seconds.
And hoping.
So we're going to get into this first episode of... There it is. Damn. Damn, dead Punk Gage. What's she doing barfing on people in the ring?
Threw up.
That's not cool.
Once. Does that count? Well, I mean, that could count. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
What promotion did you wrestle for, Gage?
I am very curious.
I am too.
All right, so while we're waiting on that from Mr. Gage,
Mr. Dead Punk Gage,
we're going to get into this dark side. See, I had to hype myself up. I had to like throw myself in another headspace because this episode was really, really hard to watch.
It was super hard to watch. It brought back a ton of memories. It's yeah, I mean it was like wow, you know, and a lot of things we didn't know about Eddie Guerrero and about Chris Benoit, you know.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know what we're talking about, the first part of the Chris Benoit Dark Side of the Ring, season 2, part 1,
on Vice.
It's on the Vice YouTube. Go look up Vice, and they put the first part of 2 up there early. Mm-hmm. It's almost a week early. It's coming out 4 or 5 days, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh snap, I'm not even gonna wait. I'm gonna watch this now. I messaged Dyzzy. I'm like, Dyzzy, here's the link. Watch this. We're gonna talk about this. He's like, I thought we were gonna talk about all this other stuff. I said, we're gonna talk about it all tonight. He's like, okay.
Gonna lay it out all on the YouTube. It's like, here it is in a pretty package.
Yes.
For you to open.
And aren't we such a pretty package?
Enjoy it.
So who they featured to talk about Chris Benoit. And what was even more interesting is this was almost as much about Eddie Guerrero as it was about Chris Benoit.
It was, yeah. It went.
They were inseparable.
It went back behind when they started in the Indies, and then they got signed to WCW. And because they knew each other in the Indies, you know, Indies. And the thing about the indie scene is that it's a very, very small scene. It's a very small crowd. Everybody practically knows everybody, you know, and these two,
their Mexican footage, their Japanese footage.
Sure. Yeah.
International stuff.
It showed a lot of stuff. So when you say it's a very small scene, and I'm sure Gage can back us up on this too. I know Max Mages could too, but somebody knows everybody. Somebody knows somebody. Like you know that person, another person's brother is going to know that person. It's a very small scene, and these guys were inseparable. It was really eye-opening on how inseparable these guys really were, you know.
There's a life lesson. If you're a wrestler and you're reading this, don't drink too much damn water before your match.
Yeah, please don't. Oh Lord, no. Don't do that.
But sorry, so this featured Vicky Guerrero, David Benoit, who is his Chris Benoit's son from his first marriage, Jim Ross, good old JR, Chris Jericho,
which was cool. And I love the thing that he said in the beginning of it. He said, you know, if you're going to call him a murderer, you just need to stop watching this.
Well, he said, if you think we're here to glorify a murderer, stop watching.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
They weren't. I mean, they're just talking about the real life experiences and what.
That's what he said. Yeah, I misquoted. So that's what he said.
It's all right. And then Dean Malenko, John Guerrero, Sandra. I'm going to screw up the last name here.
His sister.
It's Nancy's sister.
Nancy's sister, yes, his sister, Chris's sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as
There
far
were
as people talking about it, that's it.
yeah.
They did go to, yeah, I mean, and this really got dark, and they revealed some stuff that maybe some other people, it was revealed throughout the years, but I did not know this. Like, I knew that Kevin Sullivan and Nancy were a thing, and or married or whatever. They were married, and working the indies, and they got into WCW together. And what was the point I was going to make?
They were in WCW together, and that is in how Nancy met Chris.
No, there was another point I was going to. Oh, the abuse.
Oh yeah, the abuse. Yeah,
I did not realize. I knew they were together, and I heard that they split up, divorced, whatever. Whatever relationship I had heard throughout the years. Okay, they were married. I did not realize that one of the main reasons was there was a couple reasons. The booking they kind of snickered about it was Kevin Sullivan's the only guy who could book his own divorce, which was they said that, and then they explained everything. So it was like, wait, what? How do you? So he booked Nancy to like go away from him as a valet and start valeting for Chris, but then that turned into a real life thing,
relationship. Yeah.
And that's where the physical abuse started from Kevin Sullivan to Nancy. And Nancy confided in Chris. Other people were involved, like they talked to one other girl that I didn't write down. That was the blonde. That was
woman?
No. It was
who was that? I didn't write it down either. God dang it.
Was that Benoit's sister? I didn't catch. They only talked to her for like a minute. She might be in more in the next one. But anyway, Nancy confided in others. In her sister, things got ugly in a match that they had between Benoit and Kevin Sullivan
at Bash at the Beach,
right? And it continued backstage.
Deborah McMichael. I don't think it was it. No, I don't think it was Deborah McMichael. Was it?
Oh, might have been.
Might have been. Yeah.
I'd have to watch it again. That's like the only name I didn't write down.
Yeah.
So that happened, and then soon after that happened, Nancy got married to Chris, and they had Daniel, and Vicky even shared the wedding pictures she has in a little album of Daniel, Chris, and Nancy together, and it was beautiful, and it was touching, and it's stuff I'd never seen before. And it's like, yeah, okay, there were good times.
Yeah, there definitely were. I mean, he wasn't a bad dude.
No,
he wasn't a bad guy at all. He was just a regular guy who just happened to be a professional wrestler.
But he was so. That's one thing that Chris said at the beginning was he was so into his wrestling, his career, that if he made mistakes, he punished himself for it. Like he did something in the ring with Chris at in a really earlier on in their career, and then Chris finds him doing like 500 squats or whatever to like punish himself, and he's like, yeah, but I screwed up, so I have to
he botched the match,
like a penance thing, like a religious penance thing. And it was like, oh my god,
right.
So it just shows how serious
he took it.
Yeah, and he
But every time you watched the guy wrestle, you knew that he took that serious. You knew that, okay, this guy is for real. This guy.
He always looked so intense.
Yes.
He always brought it.
Yeah. It was great to see.
So it goes from there. Talk about the abuse, and then they got married.
Mm-hmm.
They asked Kevin to be a part of this. And they asked him about the abuse, and he denied it all. So he didn't want to be on camera, but he denied all the abuse. So, if several people are talking about it,
Gage
that doesn't look good for him.
Posed a really good question in the chat. He says, in a weird way, Vicky Guerrero has probably seen more tragedy in wrestling than most regular people.
Yeah, that's true.
She's been in the business for a long damn time, and I believe that. Because she went through, she went through Eddie, she went through Chris, she went through God knows how many others. I don't even know when her career began in wrestling.
It didn't start really until, she was close with Eddie, and she always knew what was going on. She was a good wife, a good mother, but she didn't really get into the industry until after Eddie died.
Yeah, yeah.
But she was at ringside, so I couldn't remember when she got into the business, like we were just talking about it now. But she was there when the news came out about Chris Benoit. So maybe it was that short of a period afterwards, or maybe she was just there for the show. I'm not sure, like, why she was there. If she was working for him yet, or if she was just there because it was a pay-per-view. Like to support everyone.
She debuted in 2005. July 14th, 2005.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't long after.
Right.
But so they go on to talk about how hard the guys were working, Malenko. They don't talk about the fourth guy who was a part of that crew. I'm trying to remember his name. It was Terry.
Part something? Of what crew?
That jumped ship from WCW and went to WWF at the time. It was four guys. Perry Saturn.
Yeah.
They don't mention him much. I don't know if they're going to mention him later, if he's going to have any input in this. I know his health has not been good. He's been fighting Alzheimer's and stuff, so I don't know if
last I heard he was wasn't he in a nursing home last I heard?
Could be. I don't. It's been a while. I was following him on Facebook. I haven't seen stuff about him in a while. So maybe that's why, couldn't be a part of this. They just chose to have Chavo, and
maybe he didn't even want to do it. If he isn't on this at all, maybe he just didn't want to do it.
I don't want to assume, but who knows?
I mean, he got it, especially if he has Alzheimer's. I mean, is he going to remember?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a struggle. So talk about how that crew jumped ship from WCW, went to WWF because the booking, they just weren't happy with how they were being booked. And because there was that ceiling that they could hit, and that's as far as they were going to go.
They can only plateau that high. Yeah.
Right. And that was in 2000. They went to WWF, and then that's at that same time they started talking about how good Eddie was doing, but he was also covering up a lot of injuries. And that's why I said before, this was so much about Eddie as well as it was Chris's story, because they were always
together.
Together, and they were so close. They were brothers.
And you got to remember too, this is when they were still drinking, they were still doing drugs.
Oh yeah.
So the backstage scene was still pretty heavy. They weren't doing as many as heavy drugs as they were doing in the 80s and the early 90s and things like that, you know, especially after the whole lawsuit thing, but they were still sneaking in narcotics and drinking, you know.
It's pain control.
Yeah.
You know,
it is. It really is.
So many people, you know, including people that are a testament to the business today. They're clean. Guys like BG James, Billy Gunn, Dustin Rhodes, Matt Hardy, you know, so many, you know, and then you got Jeff who's struggling. You know, he's clean now, but has struggled so much over this last year with surgeries and everything. And then so if you have a problem and now you got surgeries to take care of, you know, injuries, and what are you supposed to do? That's I can't even imagine. I've got with the surgeries that I've been through. If I didn't have pain meds, my God.
Right.
Yeah. I understand why people are addicted to heroin. That's hard to say, you know. It's but I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
But so it starts talking about Eddie's. He said he had 3 ODs, and at one point Vicky left him in the living room, passed out, and took the kids to school and prayed to God. And this was tough. She's like, if you're going to take him, now's a good time.
Yeah, she said that. And I'm like, I'm like, to get to that point where you're talking to God and you're saying, look, if you're just going to take him, take him. Take him out,
because you don't know what else to do.
Because I can't keep.
You hit that wall.
Yeah. So.
And
that was tough. I'm sure that was tough for her.
And then it talks about how he went away, he got clean, came back, and then they were both got to the top. They got to WrestleMania 2004 or WrestleMania 20, which is still to this day, as hard as it is to watch, it's still my favorite WrestleMania.
It's great.
Because that was one of the first times in a long time, because I grew up with Hulk Hogan and that whole whole era. And I got back into wrestling during, I'd say, like mid NWO years. Yeah. You know, late 90s. And I was excited about it, but now all there was the WWF. And this was the first time there was like a groundswell. It was like a grassroots feeling, having guys like Chris Benoit and Eddie, who were such fan favorites. Not, oh, we're going to book this guy to win and you're going to love him. No, it was like Daniel is what Daniel Bryan is now. Okay. It was that feeling. And how they both won their championships that they were fighting for / defending. And they had that
hug in the ring.
That hug in the ring, the confetti. They were both crying on each other's shoulders.
And Chris lifting his son in the air on his shoulders, you know.
Yeah, just the whole moment is.
It was touching. It was really. It
was really, real.
It was real. You know, you step out of the professional wrestling thing for just a second, and
like booking aside, yeah.
And you know, and you got to thank guys like Triple H and Shawn Michaels and Kevin Nash and Scott Hall for having that whole debacle in the way early 90s at a pay-per-view that somebody caught on, because it was the last time they were going to wrestle together, and it was a cage match. And after the match, they all raised their hands and they gave each other hugs, and Vince McMahon was really pissed off about it. But that's what brought Russell. That's what made it real to us. I mean, that's what made it real, you know. And those are special times that you have to have, man. Those are really just incredible times.
And it wasn't long after that Eddie passed, and they didn't realize. And the thing is, you know, back then when people were starting to like, you know, pass away and have issues with their health, people assumed that it was drug related. No, Eddie was clean, but the abuse he did to his body affected his heart. I mean, and people are like, oh, it had nothing to do with drugs.
And the fact that Chavo was the first one to find him, because they went to the hotel, they had a pay-per-view, I believe, or they had an event to go wrestle at, and it was a day before, and they were all supposed to meet up in the gym at the hotel, and Chavo found him. They found, well, the guy at the hotel, one of the hotel people, they found Eddie laying on.
They couldn't get in his room. Yeah,
they couldn't get in his room, and they went to Chavo, and Chavo was the one that said, "Yeah, cut the chain," because it was chain locked. And that's when Chavo found Eddie, and Chavo, face down, and he picked him up. Eddie was gurgling, and that was hard to hear. Eddie was gurgling, and he took his last breath,
and he died in
Chavo's arms. Yeah, and you have to think about, God, how haunting is that to Chavo? You have to think about, damn, that would haunt me for the rest of my life. And not only that, but it was also super haunting when Chavo made the phone call to Chris in the next room. And
had him come up or over when
Chris
come to the room, and
well, Chavo called Chris, and Chris said, "Hey, I'm about to leave. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to meet you guys down there." And then he said, "Hey, my Uncle Eddie's dead." And he said Chris let out,
he just wailed.
Wail that just, he said he could still hear it. He still hears it.
Yeah.
And it's got to be freaking hard, man. It's got to be. I don't know. Props to Chavo, man, for having to put up with that, because I don't know if I could. I really don't.
It was just hard for him to talk about it, because he hadn't gone back down that road of memories in a long time. And so he passed in Chavo's arms. Chris was there, basically a heart attack, 38 years old. And it was from there that Chris Benoit, he really physically and emotionally, spiritually, everything, struggled with this, with the passing of Eddie, and he just did not know how to cope. He didn't know how to come back from this. Like they say, time heals all wounds. Well, some people deal with stuff differently. Some people heal faster than others. Sure. You never forget, but you cope differently, whatever. And he just couldn't figure out how to cope. He became distant, and
started to become weird. He started changing his travels, like he said his sister said that he started changing his routes to the gym, because they would take the same way to go to the gym every time that they would go, and he started to he became paranoid. He started changing up his routes. It's like, okay, what's
Vicky talked about how much Nancy was there for her after Eddie passed. Got her up and going, said, "Hey, your kids need you." Kind of helped snap her back into it. So they were leaning on each other, because
that's all they had.
Chris was having problems, and Vicky just lost Eddie. So they became well, they had been close, but they became even closer.
And it got to the point where Chris was sitting in Vicky's house, just crying.
Oh,
He went down to the gym and sat on Eddie's bench and just cried. It hit Chris hard. It hit him so hard.
Yeah. And that's when Nancy really started to worry about him. And then it was the night before pay-per-view. Benoit called up Chavo,
3 a.m.
and he told him, he's like, "Hey, I love you, man." And Chavo was like, "Yeah, I love you too." Okay, it just didn't sound like that wasn't a normal thing to come out of Chris Benoit's mouth. And then 5:30 in the morning, he got a text from Chris's phone and Nancy's phone saying, I don't remember the details.
The dogs were in the pen.
And the
something about the dogs. Yeah. The back door's open. Dogs are in the pen.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was something about that. And
he's like, well, that's weird. Why are you sending this? And he was like, okay, whatever. And then Chavo got to the show the next early afternoon and was talking to John Laurinaitis, someone.
It was it was somebody that I think did the head of security.
Yeah, just talking about
WWE.
They got the same texts.
Yeah,
it's like
because they were asking where Chris was.
Oh yeah, and they were trying to cover,
and the guy got pissed, and he's like, "Why didn't you tell me this?" So that's when they called 911, and Vince called 911. Vince said, "Yeah, do a wellness check on him."
Yeah, and oh, thank you, Hakeem. Yeah, Vengeance. 2007, Johnny Nitro took Benoit's place against CM Punk. Yeah, and I remember that. I was so looking forward to CM Punk versus Benoit.
That would have been
that was supposed to be like, if not the headliner, next to the headliner. And in fact, that was supposed to be the headliner. And because it was for the vacant championship or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And
I need to go watch that again.
Yeah. Yeah, I know not a lot of people talk about, the WWF version of ECW, but there was some good stuff that came out of there. The rise of CM Punk was always a good stuff.
Definitely, yeah.
And Johnny Nitro, jeez Louise. I think he became Morrison at the time. I think. Yeah. I'd have to go back and watch. I forget when he changed names and stuff.
I can't remember.
It's been a while. Yeah. So they did the wellness check on him, and
that's kind of where the episode ended.
Yeah, it was right when they found out at the show that he it could be. Yeah, this is Elijah Burke. Benoit's final opponent. I was trying to think. I always think about Mr. Kennedy was Eddie Guerrero's final opponent. That one always sticks in my head. Yeah. And that was such a fun match. That was classic Eddie.
Oh yeah.
And one of the lingering things, the last things that's actually said in the episode before they do the preview of the next one, when everybody's reflecting on what they find out to be is the murder-suicide, is Chris Jericho says, he fooled us all. And that's so hard to listen to.
It is.
And I know for years, I was one of those guys that was in denial. Like, I think my wife is still in denial about the whole thing. And look, I get it, because none of us know exactly what happened. None of us are ever going to know.
No.
The only one that knows is those three in that house. And, I mean, you can guess, you can kind of put a timeline together as far as like, okay, texts, phone calls and stuff like that. But still, it's like, you still can't picture it. It's
you can't picture it, but then again, you can't understand what was going through his head, what was going through his mind,
Yeah, I mean, and it was a combination of whatever he was doing to himself.
He was beating himself up. That's what he was doing.
Yeah, between that emotionally, physically,
it kind of feels like he wanted to be there and he couldn't. He wanted to be there to help Eddie, and when Eddie needed somebody, and they talked about how he beat himself up after a match if the things didn't go right in the ring.
Yeah.
This was the same thing. You know, he felt that, you know, he could have been there to save Eddie, to help Eddie, to, you know, get him attention that he needed. And I think he really just, obviously, I mean, he just fell down the hole deeper and deeper and deeper into depression. And he just wasn't ever right after that. So I think he just beat himself up that much. And it sucks.
Says Dead Punk Gage says, have you heard the Billy Jack Haynes conspiracy theory version of Benoit murder suicide? If so, what do you think about it? No, that one I never heard. I always heard things that had to do with theories about Kevin Sullivan. That one I still, you know, people go back to that because of the relationship that Nancy had beforehand. And, you know, it's all the what ifs if, you know, Kevin Sullivan got revenge on her and the whole family, you know, and on
Chris.
Is it,
let's see. And I'm going to ask you this, Gage. Was it that Billy Jack Haynes thought he was possessed? Because that's what I mean, I just Googled Billy Jack Haynes conspiracy on Benoit's death, and this is what I'm seeing here. Hopefully it'll share. I'm going to share my screen here real quick. So this is what I'm seeing right here. I don't know if everybody can see that. There's a YouTube video here.
Yeah, don't play that.
No, we're not going to play that, but there's a YouTube video here that says Billy Jack Haynes on his Chris Benoit conspiracy theory. Talks about the unusual coincidence. So what, you know, and there's a DVD apparently too. So,
so yeah, and I'll have to check that out. That's one thing that I never heard.
I'll have to watch that too. Yeah. Yeah. But, and some good news though. Apparently Elijah says Saved by the Bell is coming back. And they are. It's a Peacock. It's on the Peacock network. I think they're going to reboot it.
Oh, is that like an NBC Plus thing?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like an NBC Plus thing. It's called the Peacock Network. I know. Let me see. Yo, Peacock. I know. hey, that's Katy Perry. Classic Katy Perry. Okay. I don't want to hear it.
Wait, does that mean that Screech is getting a job back?
I hope. I think so. I think Screech is going to come back on this. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I don't know.
If they're doing it so that it's like a next generation thing, and they're all there for their kids, and the kids are like the focus on it, that's what I hope. Because if it's just them growing up,
right. I mean, I think it's going to kind of be like Boy Meets World, when Boy Meets World went off the air, and then they made the spinoff. It's called Girl Meets World, and it still has Corey, and it still has Topanga, and you still have Sean that come in and guest star, but it's Girl Meets World. It was on Disney. You know, you don't know what I'm talking about, but it's a thing. It's a thing. If you Google it, it's a thing.
I heard about it. I just never watched it.
I mean, it was all right. It was very cheesy. But
it's all Disney stuff is. Yeah.
I know.
So yeah, that was as much as I love the history of Chris Benoit, and same for Eddie Guerrero, and everything leading up to that classic moment at WrestleMania 20 and the tragedy that follows. It's just one of those things that if you're a passionate fan, like I know Dyzzy, you may not watch as much wrestling as me, but I know you're still a passionate wrestling fan.
I'm passionate about the Attitude Era and the aggression era and the early 90s, you know, because that's when I started watching it. You know, Bubba and I, we started watching the early 90s wrestling together. You know, we went to each other's houses and stuff like that and watched Monday Night Raw, and then we flipped back and forth to Nitro and stuff like that. So I'm passionate about that. The new product, no, I'm not as much anymore. But yeah. But I was passionate about Chris Benoit. Loved watching that dude perform because that dude was a hell of a performer. I loved Eddie Guerrero. I didn't care as much for Eddie Guerrero in WCW because I felt like they didn't do anything with his character. He wasn't, when he came to WWF and WWE, that is when he developed his own character, you know. But then again, you have to think Eddie didn't really have much of a chance because that is when the NWO was big and hot, you know. Chris Benoit at least had a chance because he was part of the Four Horsemen. He had a good solo career as, you know, as a solo performer. But definitely his most notable time in WCW, I think, was when he was in the Four Horsemen.
Yeah, I mean that is as far as like pre WWF. Yeah, a lot of people.
And then, you know, when he got into WWF, you know, obviously it was he made a name for himself by himself, and the same with Eddie Guerrero, you know.
Oh yeah, once that group of four kind of went their own ways and they all really started doing their own thing and carving their own individual history. You know, some made it bigger than others, but they all did something special. Elijah Washington says, Jaybone, did you remember in WCW who stole Eddie Guerrero's wallet? It was Flair.
Didn't know that. I wouldn't put it past Flair.
Is that like a thing you hear about the backstage stuff, or was that a gimmick on TV? Or
I don't know.
Is that like Orton shitting in someone's bag or something? I don't know.
Oh.
But yeah, so yeah, this was hard to watch, but it was also really good.
It was eye-opening. It really was.
Because throughout the last 15 years, you've always heard pieces. You'd hear a little from Chavo, or you hear a little from Chris, or you hear a little from this person or that person. You never heard a collective like this before. And especially including Chris Benoit's son, David. So that made it special too. I think David's going to have an even bigger part in the second part.
I think so too. Yeah.
Because there's only so much that he can. I mean, you know, he included that he was a good dad, you know, and there's certainly plenty of memories that go along with that. But as far as a reflection after everything happened, is a lot of people look to him for, well, how do you feel about this and all that? And guys, if you haven't seen it, I want to plug, and I don't usually plug other people's stuff, but Chris Van Vliet recently did an interview with David Benoit, and it's very eye-opening, it's touching, and it should be watched because it's one of the most authentic things you're ever going to see in wrestling that has to do with Chris Benoit. So please go look that up. It came out within the last couple months. It's from this year as far as I remember. It's recent.
Okay.
Chris Van Vliet is certainly on a roll. If you don't follow him, if you don't check out his interviews, please go follow him. The guy's golden. This guy's golden on the mic, but Chris Van Vliet, I'd say, is number 2.
Yeah.
And you know what they say about that? It's great to be number 1. Just don't step in number 2.
Yeah. Gage, he asked what's been your favorite Dark Side of the Ring episode so far. This is the only one that I've seen of Chris Benoit. Is there more?
Man. Yes, this is the start of season 2. You can go to vice.com or whatever the website is, go to vice.com, and then you can go to, because they got a bunch of different series and stuff.
Sure.
You can go to the Dark Side of the Ring page, and you can watch all the episodes from last season for free. They
Who do
are
they feature?
so well. One is on the tragedy of Miss Elizabeth and Randy.
Oh man.
Yeah, right there. That's boom.
Oh, that just sold me, man.
A few lesser known ones, like there's a Gino Hernandez that I didn't really know much about.
Zach just said Gino Hernandez.
The ladies that came up in the business with is that May? No, not May. Moolah,
the fabulous Moolah. Yeah,
fabulous Moolah. Thank you.
Yeah.
And there's I can't think of others off the top of my head, but yeah, the whole series topped. Oh, the murder of Bruiser Brody.
Oh wow,
that's a very good one. That's a very good one. Yeah, and you hear several different versions of the same story, and it's kind of like okay, you know somebody in the bunch is BSing, but you really can't tell who. But something like some of the pieces don't get to. It's still very, very good.
Did they do one on the Montreal Screwjob too?
Yes.
Wow. And then the Von Erichs, Dead Punk Gage said Von Erichs.
Von Erichs. Yes.
Deathmatch Wrestling.
Man,
I'm going to have to go watch this stuff. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The whole series is gold. It's so well done, and how it's produced, and the interviews, everything. And this season is going to be just as good.
And this is premiere of season 1.
Yeah. Benoit is a two-parter.
Right. Wow. I mean, I'm gonna have to go and catch up on those. Seriously.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's very good.
Because I get the Vice Network. I don't know why I didn't see that.
It's one of those little ones that you don't watch a lot. It's got a lot of reality television specials.
They do a lot of don't they do like drug wars and all that?
Yeah,
I think,
that kind of it's like real life stories of gangsters and shit. Yeah,
I can't even imagine the Brody episode, the Bruiser Brody episode. I gotta go see that.
So good.
Gage said it was really emotional.
I mean, it made me a fan of Brody's just watching the special. Like, wow, now I went and I remember after I watched it, I looked at some matches on YouTube that somebody had uploaded some specials on him, and I think there's even like a documentary on like Amazon about Brody from his wife or something. It's somewhere, I forget where. High Spots somewhere.
Hakeem said, do you think they'll do an episode on the problems of addiction in wrestling? I can't see them not doing one. Honestly, that was huge in the news with Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. I cannot see them not doing an episode on that.
It's more like, well, I mean, guys like Jake and Hall are success stories, because they came, Hall and Jake, through DDP, multi recoveries, and they finally got clean. Look, Jake's in AEW now,
right?
Scott Hall went in the Hall of Fame. He's going in the Hall of Fame again. Jeff Hardy just came back. He's sober. Hopefully he stays sober this time. He's been up and down through his career too.
I can't see them doing a Jeff Hardy one because he's in WWE right now. So he might have some sort of stipulation to say, hey, I can't, you can't do this about me. The one that I think they should do is the death of Owen Hart. And Hakeem just said that too. The death of Owen Hart, the steroid trail.
Owen Hart is part of this next season.
Oh, good. They need to do that so much, and I hope they bring JR in on that too, because he was a big part of that.
Well, Chris Jericho is narrating the whole season.
Yeah.
So how much he's going to be actually in each episode talking about each one, but he's going to be narrating each one. He's a big part of this one because he was very close with that whole crew. But
sure.
So, any final thoughts on this part 1 of the Chris Benoit Dark Side of the Ring?
Very well produced. Anything you see on major network TV is going to be very well put together. It was an eye opener. I'll say that. I did not know that much about Chris Benoit. I mean, we followed his career, but we didn't really get to see the backstory of Chris.
Yeah.
And it was I think it's super important to tell that part of the story about Chris, because everybody looks at Chris, even if genuine conversation comes up or general conversation comes up about wrestling, people, and Chris Benoit gets gets mentioned, they're instantly calling him, murderer. No, he goes a lot deeper than that.
There's not a lot of gray. There's usually love or hate. There's not a lot of in between,
And I'm always going to be the guy that's going to stand up for Chris, this documentary painted a very good picture of Chris. They weren't there to paint him as a murderer. They were just telling the facts. This is what happened. This is why it happened.
Wait till part 2. I think you're going to see a little more than that.
Oh, I think so too. But I will always back up Chris Benoit. I really will.
As far as his wrestling career.
As far as his wrestling career goes, and the kind of guy that he was prior to Eddie Guerrero dying, I'll back him up 110%.
Yeah, ditto. Yeah, it's hard, after everything, it's hard to talk about and separate both, but and then there's always the classic question that always comes up: does he belong in the Hall of Fame? And
I think he does.
His son says he does.
Yeah, I think he does.
And I think, because man, there's people in the Hall of Fame that have done just as horrible things as he's done. Then that's another special that's going to be on this one, is the story of Jimmy Snuka's girlfriend that got murdered.
Oh wow.
Yeah, from Jimmy Snuka, and that was always covered up. It was never like justice was never served.
Right.
And they tried last minute, right before Jimmy Snuka passed. They tried, he's guilty and blah, 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 blah. And then it's like, dude, he's on his deathbed. It's a little late. You had 30 plus years to do this. Now, come on. I understand people wanted justice, but then it's like, really? What is it worth?
Yeah.
You could just stick a guy that's in a wheelchair in prison.
Zach says they're going to have a marathon on Sunday of all of season 1 episodes. I may have to watch that.
There you go. Set your DVR, buddy.
No kidding.
Boom, 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 marathon. Boom,
boom. And Elijah, I would like to correct you, sir. I do not sound anything like Michael Cole, but I am in radio, so I am it's driven into me to say WWE, and I will never say like Michael Cole does about Philadelphia. It's Philadelphia, not Philadelphia. Well, we're live in Philadelphia. Go back to some of the previous episodes of Rambling About Wrestling, Elijah. Listen to those, and listen to my hatred on Michael Cole.
Nice.
I hate that guy. That's a whole different show.
Well, can we get your thoughts on the WWE universe?
Oh my god! And his heel, like when he was a heel commentator, and they were doing that anonymous general manager thing, bro. I was sitting there, and I wished I had a hammer, and because I would have knocked myself in the head every time that son of a bitch talked. I do not like Michael Cole. I don't.
Put a brick through. You still hate him from that, eh?
Oh, I do, man. I cannot stand Michael Cole.
Can I have your attention?
You know what?
Please?
You know what? I went to. Oh God! I went to. I was surfing around on the TV yesterday or the other day. I think it was on a Monday or Friday or something like that. Anyway, and Michael Cole was on, and I put it on WWE, and Michael Cole was on, and I could only sit there for 30 seconds and just tune this dude out until I changed the channel. I cannot stand Michael Cole. And yes, they do need to do a video on China. I do agree with that.
I just saw that. Yeah, that's season 3.
Yeah. payoff was such a letdown as well. Freaking Hornswoggle. Hornswoggle. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Haven't heard that name in a long time.
Oof.
Ooh.
Oof.
Yeah. But it was a good show, good, very, very eye-opening. So definitely, I'm gonna try to watch all of season 1. My wife's gonna hate me, but I'm gonna try to watch all of season 1.
I'm not sure when they're gonna air part 2. Like, I don't know if they're gonna air 1 and 2 back to back.
They probably will put like the day of surfing on TV. A man of your size can be that dangerous. Yeah.
Dyzzy's a big boy.
Yeah. Anyway, I would assume whenever they premiere the second episode, they're gonna play episode 1 and do them back to back.
Vince's daughter? No, that's all conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
People love cracking that joke. I don't even know what the full story is, but I don't want to.
That's been debunked. That's been debunked.
That Macho
Man and Vince and Stephanie. That's been debunked.
That's just gross.
Yeah, that's been debunked, dude. That's not real.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's happened in wrestling throughout the years that we don't even have a clue about, and it should stay that way. We don't have to know everything. Yeah. The doors have been peeled back unbelievably over the last couple of decades, but what are you gonna do? Right. So that's where we're gonna wrap it up tonight. Holy cow, we went over an hour and a half on this one, but that's all right. This was something that we had to talk about, we had to watch, and threw a couple other topics in there too, and we even threw in Batista.
Yeah. So definitely. I do want to share something real quick.
Okay.
This is one of the newer logos of the new show, Ramblers Unleashed. This is one of the new logos that was just created today.
There we go.
And you can follow us. You can like us on Facebook at Ramblers Unleashed to search for it.
You gonna make a Twitter?
No, I don't think so. We didn't get a lot of the last time the Ramblers were on Twitter. We didn't really get a lot of followers. We didn't.
But that was before I was on Twitter.
No, we were on Twitter when you were here, my good man.
Oh,
yeah. And we just didn't get a lot of.
Now I'm really on Twitter.
Yeah. So we'll probably just stick to Facebook for now. But Ramblers Unleashed, brand new show that's coming your way on YouTube. Be watching on Jason's channel, on Jaybone's channel, on Rambling About Wrestling on YouTube. Just search it, you'll find it. And we're gonna create, I think, a new channel for Ramblers Unleashed. And do it like that, man. Keep your ears open on when we do the show.
The reboot's going to be a work in progress, but I'll always be, when we're doing something, I'll plug it.
Sure, definitely. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Hell yeah, dude. The boys are back in town.
Yeah. Thin Lizzy.
Something like that.
Yeah.
All right, so for this guy over here, Mr. Dyzzy, I am Jaybone. This is Smash This Podcast. And as we cut out of here, don't forget to smash that like button, smash that sub button, and ring that bell for notifications to let you know when more of my product or our content hits your screen. I can't do you got to do your side of the screen. Yeah, okay.
I don't know where we're going with
Good night, folks. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Stay indoors. And don't forget, wash your hands, cover your cough, and shut your ass.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
Peace.